Hello YouTube, brothers and sisters. I was wondering what to talk about here. I don't want to have too many videos just complaining about the other guy, right? Oh, sister this did that, and brother this did that, and this guy ain't a brother, and that guy's not a sister, and look what they did, and oh no. You know, and I tend to do that a little bit. Some of it I feel needs to be done, and maybe some of it doesn't, and I'm just wasting your time. I don't know. This one, I'm sitting thinking, well, what can be a good topic? Something that's worth talking about. Because it's got to be something to do with Jesus. Because we waste too much time, I think, on all this other stuff. When there should be more focus on the Lord. And the parables just kick in, right? Because everything, other guys, well, it's about this and it's about that. And we have to teach and we have to this and that. We should learn. We should learn, from the Lord. When they asked him about the parables, they said, well, why do you talk like this? And he said, well, so that my disciples, well, use different words, but his people would understand him, right? His sheep would know his voice, and they would understand him. Being that I consider myself to be one of his sheep, I should be looking at the parables, right? That's what I think. Because if he wrote them for us to understand, that means he wrote them for us. And we'll understand them, as opposed to a non-believer won't understand what it means. Now, if we were to go in back a little bit here, there's quite a bit of division right now over different members of a group that have different ideologies, I guess is the word, doctrines, whatever you want to call it. We can't just change the truth. I kind of lost where I was going on that. Sorry, guys. 3 minutes almost should start over. Because this was, oh no, I was talking about the parables. That's why. Because, and it was, what I was saying is it had to do with what's been going on here. And like the one person wanting to teach people and do things. Well, we need to look at the parables. And the one with the sower of the seeds, right? And let's say me, as the sower of the seed. As a quote unquote, by some people's definition, I'm a decisionist. This is meaning basically that I believe that I think it's putting the emphasis on decision, so I don't believe that I'm whatever definition of whatever it is. But it's got something to do with the fact that you're told the gospel and you decided to believe it, so then you're saved. So whether you decided to, you were drawn to, you felt you should, whatever reason you believed, it's about whether you believed or not. Not whether or not you did or didn't decide. That's irrelevant, doesn't matter. It's whether or not you believe the truth of Jesus Christ as the one and only begotten Son of God, died on the cross, paid our sin debt, was buried and raised 3 days later, as the scriptures say. If you believe that in your heart, you profess it with your lips, you are saved, and that's it. There's nothing anybody can tell me about that. That's it. Now, when it comes to the parables, there's the sower of the seeds. And some seeds land on crappy ground and just get blown away. And some seeds, they get planted, but they start to get a little bit of a growth, and so the devil comes along and plucks them up with lies and guilt and shame and sin, bondage and whatever. And so then they never truly believe, right? They all were given the gospel. They're all given a chance. But they didn't believe. Then there's some that heard the truth. And they believed. And they grew. And they multiplied at different levels. Some 30, some 60, some 90 or 100%, whatever, right? So that tells us that not everybody that hears the seeds I plant are going to be saved. Some are, and some aren't. Some will just, what I say, will just land on deaf ears, and it'll just bounce off. Some will say and go, oh, that's kind of interesting, and then they'll get distracted by the television and they're gone. And then some will go, oh, really? Wow, that makes sense. And they'll start to dig a little bit, but then the devil will come at them and he'll do things and scare them and make them turn away, and they will never truly believe that Jesus Christ saved them. They're saved. And when you believe that, you're indwelled with the Holy Spirit, and you get power like you don't, not power, but you get Holy Spirit gifts. Things like discernment, patience, love, stuff like that, understanding, forgiveness. These things are just, to someone who didn't have them before, they're beautiful gifts, right? And the whole technicality behind a lot of this stuff, I believe, is what separates people from the truth. It's all little technicalities, this and that and whatever. We need to keep it simple, straight up. Just need to keep it simple. I have no idea what this video was supposed to be about. All I know is that we're messing with the gospel. We're making it hard for people to be saved when it's supposed to be really easy to be saved. Jesus said, believe on me, I'll give you everlasting life, basically, right? Paraphrasing. Follow him. Believe on him as the Lord, you're saved. So he said, believe on me and you're saved. So many examples. So many. And he tells us in the parables a lot of things that we as his believers, his followers, we should be looking at and listening to. Those parables are written for us. For those with ears to hear and eyes to see, right? Why? Because they're important for who? Us. Parables are important, and we should all be digging into them and letting the Lord pray first, and let the Lord show you what he wants to show you in the parables, right? Anyway, I'm going to keep this one short, and we're going to call it The Parables. Right on. I love you guys.